one of country music's greatest singers and entertainers of all time. Please welcome to the program the great Mel McDaniel. Mel, can you hear me all right?
Well, I can hear you. That's awful nice things you're saying about me, Paul.
Oh, well,
I sure appreciate it, though, man. Thanks a lot.
They're certainly true. I really appreciate you coming here on the program, and it's just a great honor.
Proud to be here.
Well, I know you're a busy guy, so maybe, I guess we'll start somewhere back towards the beginning.
All right.
If we could, and, so you grew up in Oklahoma, correct?
Pretty much. I grew up kind of moving into between there and California and Arizona and all that, but I spent my high school years in Oklahoma. Okmulgee's where I consider my hometown to be, you know.
So wouldn't you say that music appealed to you from an early age?
Yeah, well, I was about 14, I guess.
And so was that when you learned how to play the guitar at that age?
I started learning, it was after I saw Elvis on TV, you know, and of course everybody wanted to be like Elvis. Of course there's not but one Elvis, ain't nobody can be like him, and but anyway, it gave me the want to go out and try to perform and everything, so I started working on it then. So
would you say Elvis was one of your greatest influences?
Oh, he was one that really, you know, there was Jerry Lee Lewis, though, and a lot of them around that time. You know, Johnny Horton, I loved his stuff, and Chuck Berry, you know, Johnny Cash, Merle Haggard, just a lot of them.
A lot of the great rockabilly country stuff.
Yeah, well, I like the country too, you know.
So when did you give your first public performance?
Oh man, I was on a flatbed truck in 1958. I got up, stood with my hands in my pocket, and my black leather jacket on, and sang, "Come back, baby, I want to play house with you." And as I had a couple of friends playing the guitar, I didn't know how then at that time, you know, but I started working real hard where I could get at least where I could, you know, chord the thing and sing and write songs with it.
And I guess from there you never really looked back.
Well, not too much, no. That's what I wanted to do, and I kept it right at the front of my mind all the time, and came here one time to try to get going and couldn't do anything. I wasn't anywhere near ready to even try to do anything, but couldn't get any help, so a friend of mine loaned me his book that he used working in clubs, Royce Porter, and my brother and folks were up there, so I just went on to Alaska, and my brother said he thought I could probably go to get a job up there singing, so I took off and we went to Alaska.
The home of, well, what's now the home of Sarah Palin.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Wasilla is right outside of Anchorage there.
So, how long did you stay in Alaska for? You played on the club scene there for
I stayed
a while.
At one club. I worked 6 hours a night as a single. So my stool 6 hours a night there in Anchorage at a club called the King's X. And made a lot of great friends, met a lot of fans, and I've even seen a few down here, you know, and they really gave me an encouragement I needed to come back and try it again, and that's the time I got a little luckier.
And solo performing was, I guess, sort of, wasn't it kind of out of the ordinary for you? Because you had always toured with a band before.
Yeah, it was really out of the ordinary, and, you know, it really is a strain on me, too. And but Chris Christopherson came along about that time, and I started doing a lot of his things, you know. They were something that I could do myself, and I really enjoyed his writing and all, you know, so I started doing a lot of his things, and that really drew a lot of folks.
So what made you want to try your luck again in Nashville? Because you came back to Nashville from Alaska.
I just wanted to try. That's what, like I say, it was always at the front of my mind. And I kept it there, you know, and that's what brought me back.
So you went to Nashville and you started playing at the Holiday Inn there, correct?
Uh-huh. Doing the same thing. It got a little worse as it went, though. the guy I was working for, the guy that was working down there, he was doing the 4-hour position, and I was doing the happy hour. Well, he went to Texas and supposedly broke both his wrists in a motorcycle wreck, and I had to go in at 3 and work from 5 to 7. I'd leave the house at 3, work from 5 to 7, and have to wait. I'd have to wait until 9 o'clock and go on from 9 to 1. So it just went from bad to worse.
And you also found work as a singer for demo sessions, too, during the day.
Well, that's, I finally had a friend I met through Surefire Music, Doyle and Teddy Wilburn's business. Doyle saw me at the Holiday Inn, got me a session, and I did a spec session, they call it, and everything, and I went out and I saw Don Devaney and asked him if he wrote Someone Loves You, Honey, for Charlie Pride. Asked him if he wouldn't mind taking it with him and taking it over to Combine Music, and that's where I started doing demos, and soon I was doing them for different publishing houses and all over, but while I was at Combines when I got my deal with Capitol Records.
And it was around that time, wasn't it really right before you got your deal with Capitol that you were writing songs for some of the current greats of the time, Conway Twitty and Kenny Rogers? And
Well, yeah, I had my friend Dennis Lindy, who's passed on, and he helped me. I wrote one for Kenny, he and I did, called Goodbye Marie. We wrote one. Johnny Rodriguez cut it, Kenny Rogers and Bobby Goldsboro. Then me and Bob Morrison wrote one together, The Grandest Lady, and they did that a good while there for the opera,
Yeah, we'll talk
then
about
Conway Twitty cut it.
We'll talk about the opera in a few minutes.